And now he's got me down as the greatest president in the history of our country.
Donald Trump's been president now 3 years. How's he doing?
No Trump! No Kennedy!
Lots of people say he is
dumb and racist.
Guilty of
rampant corruption.
Arrogantly marching us towards fascism.
The worst president in the history of the United States.
Yet others say
President Trump saved the United States of America.
One of the smartest, most clever, and successful negotiator presidents of all time.
Wow, the reactions remind me of that Clint Eastwood movie. Let's look at Donald Trump. The good, the bad, the ugly.
America's economy is booming.
There's plenty of good.
Black unemployment hits a record low.
Democrats had predicted disaster.
Trump would throw us back into recession.
And that recession would have no end in sight, said Paul Krugman. Instead,
the U.S. stock market has surged to record highs.
The U.S. economy is doing so well.
So well, I think, because President Trump
massively reduced job-crushing regulations. 2, 3.
I wouldn't call it massively. Businesses still face thousands of burdensome rules. But Trump signaled that government will not automatically crush you if you try something new. And because of that, more than 6 million Americans were hired.
The president has said this is a great economy. It is.
Unemployment's at a 50-year low. The unemployment rate did fall during Obama's presidency, too. But for most of those years, fewer Americans chose to even look for work. That's the red line on this graph. People gave up, dropped out of the labor force. When Trump was elected, that changed. More people applied for jobs again. Why? I think it's because government stopped telling people you're victims of an unfair system. You need handouts to survive. The new message was, most of you can get a job. You don't need welfare.
We're getting Americans off of welfare and back into the workforce. That's a great thing.
Even disability claims, which had been steadily rising, started to fall.
Disability applications plunging.
In addition,
no president in recent history has done more to really reshape the judiciary.
Trump appointed judges who tend to rule in favor of free speech and private property. All good. On the other hand, Trump's done plenty of bad.
President Trump withheld hundreds of millions of dollars in military aid to a strategic partner at war.
Trump does things like that and then denies he did anything wrong.
That call was perfect. It couldn't have been nicer.
Trump lies about all sorts of things.
We had the biggest audience in the history of inaugural speeches.
He kept saying that even after his staff told him it wasn't true.
The biggest ever to watch an inauguration address.
And Trump broke promises about ending America's wars.
Bring our soldiers back home.
At least he hasn't started new wars like his predecessors did. But today, we're dropping more bombs on Afghanistan than any time over the past 10 years. And then there's the spending.
Are you going to cut spending?
I'm going to cut spending. We're going to cut spending big league.
But he did the opposite.
Trump signed a massive spending bill
that adds hundreds of billions of dollars to the deficit.
That's one area that someone could say the president hasn't delivered on his promises.
This congressman's a President Trump supporter, but he's upset that Trump went along with a big increase in the national debt. When Davidson complained to his fellow Republicans, he found with Trump president, suddenly Republicans didn't care about debt.
I need more money.
Davidson wished Trump would do what the baseball executive did in this movie.
Billy Beane comes down into the dugout after the game where they've just lost and they've got music on and people are dancing and partying, and he takes a bat, smashes the boombox and says,
"That's what losing sounds like."
And there's just not a sense that we're losing on spending.
Funding increases for high-quality child care.
Now Trump proposes new spending increases, mostly on the military, though his new budget plan would slow the growth of big welfare programs. He knows that won't get through Congress.
We are on a path to bankrupting our country.
On top of that,
I put the big tariffs on.
Trump says absurd things about trade.
With China, we are losing right now $500 billion with a B, $billion a year.
He's telling people trade isn't win-win. There's a winner and a loser. I don't think he understands it.
He's got a metaphor that the average American understands.
But it's a wrong metaphor, right?
It is technically inaccurate.
And then there's the ugly.
You little pencil neck.
Trump is often a bully.
Dummy.
Pathetic guy.
Low IQ individual. That guy's got a serious weight problem. Go home.
Some of his words have certainly been ugly.
What about that? He's just like a 3-year-old. Look at me, I'm the best.
I'm an extremely stable genius.
We're supposed to outgrow that narcissism when we're an adult. He's a bully?
This is all baked into Donald Trump. He is true to who everyone knows Donald Trump as. And they love him anyway.
And you love him anyway?
I do. People don't always love Donald Trump's words, but his deeds as president, his policies have been great, and the results are measurably great.
Some are not. Either way, odds are we're going to see a lot more of President Donald Trump because, as I record this, he's favored to win re-election. I hope we get more of the good Trump and less of the bad and the ugly. I hope you share and like this video if you want to help us make more. Click that button.